So, all right, here's our weather chat of this morning. 7:37 is the time. And again, you wrote this up. By the way, you can find more information on our website, cakestand.com, with the latest weather blog. And it's baseball season. That means it's spring. We've got warmer temperatures. But there was actually a study out of Dartmouth College showing that with climate change, with global warming, as temperatures warm, that will benefit batters in terms of more home runs.
They did a survey talking about how a degree to 4, they use in different increments, I have that I think on the next page, would affect the number of home runs that would be hit in any given ballpark. And they looked at all 30 ballparks. Some had a little bit of an increase and others didn't have much, and it's because of their weather, the fact that, you know, they play the majority of their games at night because day baseball seems to foster more home runs. Anyway, what they determined was that as humid air is less dense, the fact remains that then in warm, humid air, the baseballs will travel further. And for those of you that go to the ballpark because you want to see the long ball as opposed to the pitcher's duel, then this survey should have made you, or not this survey, this study should have made you happy.
Right, and kind of one of the things, you know, warm air is less dense and the particles are spaced out. That's how a ball can travel further. Humid air is kind of get a little bit confusing. I first thought, you know, even for both of us, you know, I was thinking, oh, maybe humid air would, you know, prohibit and inhibit the how far it moves, but that's not the case. Humidity is actually less dense because of the water molecules. The gas that's in each water molecule is a little bit of hydrogen, which is the lightest of all the gases, and therefore it is a lighter air mass when it's warm and humid. So that's pretty interesting. So for 1 degree Celsius of warming that we will see here in the decades to come, that would add 95 more home runs on average.
So they did 1,000 computer simulations. They came up with a few scenarios. The worst case, as you see, 192 by 2050 and 450 more by 2021, but then they had a more moderate scenario, but where the numbers were significantly reduced from 192 to 155 and by 450 to 255. But it was still interesting that they even thought to do this.
Right.
You know, everyone, well, not everyone, but a lot of us love baseball, and you know, it was nice to see that they did a study to see how the weather does affect the long ball.
And this study, assuming all variables staying the same, including the bats, the ball, and how far away the fences out in the back for a home run. But again, it was pretty interesting. Tell us a little bit more about some of the stadiums that they found.
It was no surprise to me when they had a graph of all 30 ballparks across the country that Wrigley Field in Chicago had the most at an increase of 1.5 degrees of 5 to 6 more homers, and if you go out 4 degrees of a global warming increase, it was more than 15. Both Chicago ballparks were in the top 3. So was Denver's Coors Field, where the ball just flies out when the batter only hits 200. Then we go to the next page, and this one kind of surprised me a little bit. Not St. Pete's Tropicana Field because it's dome, but both Texas ballparks in the bottom 5.
Okay. Well, if you want more information on this interesting study, you can head up to our website, cakestand.com.